With the arrival of Broly, the Christmas event, and now the start of 2026, Happy New Year by the way everybody, the end of Season 2 of Gekishin Squadra is near, and that means the start of Season 3 is around the corner as well. And of course a new season brings along with it a couple of new characters that will join the roster, and I'm making this video to speculate on who that might be. I did this last season as well, and none of the characters I picked made the cut, so this will probably be pretty similar as I have nothing to go on and I'm more just tossing out there who I would like to see in the game, to be honest. Before we get started with the characters, I'd just like to say that if you enjoy the video at all at some point, then I'd appreciate a like, comment, and sub, you know, the whole typical YouTube spiel. That being said, I've picked a character for every role in the game, that being tank, damage, and technical, starting off with number 1 right now. Considering we didn't have a Goku character for Season 2, I think we're ready for another one, because, let's face it people, sooner or later this game is going to be filled with Goku variants if it keeps going, and every Dragon Ball game gets filled with Goku variants eventually, and Bardock is kind of a soft version of that, while also being his own character, a fan favorite, and just straight up badass. I'd personally go with the Dragon Ball Z special version of the character while adding the Super Broly version as a costume, and I'd make him a tank because Bardock is almost defined by fighting a bunch of enemies at the same time by himself, taking a beating in the process, and continuing on or getting back up no matter the odds, which is, I think, is kind of, you know, what a tank does. He'd be a melee character, and for his first skill, I'd give him the Final Spirit Cannon, which is a projectile that blows up with AoE damage where it's thrown. The second skill would be a 2-part rush attack, where first he charges with a big punch, and upon second activation he can teleport and do a double axe handle. I think they call this the Final Revenger in other games, but it's how he takes out part of Midoriya's squad in the special. His third skill would be a beam, but beforehand he does a flip where you can decide where he goes for some extra mobility and, you know, avoidance to try and dodge attacks and stuff, and this is based off his final move in the fight against Midoriya's squad. He turns Super Saiyan for his super attack to give a little homage to the episode of Bardock OVA, and it's basically his level 3 super from Dragon Ball FighterZ, except at the start of the super attack he does his spin move, which makes him immune to energy damage and crowd control effects. Anyway, let's continue on to our second character, shall we? Now don't get me wrong, I love the Saiyan characters and super strong villains, but can we please get some more Earthlings in this game? I mean, who's with me, right? Besides being one of the most disrespected characters, I love Tien, and it's not just because I'm bald like him, it's because his arc in the original Dragon Ball is legendary, and to me he'll always be one of Goku's greatest rivals, if not the greatest rival. In my mind, I can only see Tien as a damage character, even though he has plenty of techniques to beat anything really, but his Kikoho just has to be an absolute nuke that destroys opponents. My boy just has to be done justice. I'd make him a melee character, and his first skill would be the Dodon Ray, just a straight up fast beam that explodes on impact with a short cooldown. The second skill would be the Volleyball Fist, which becomes more elaborate and a bigger combination on leveling up, kind of similar to Gotenks' combination attack in the game. And for his third skill, I'd get a little out of the box and have Tien do the multi-form technique, which would of course increase his damage tremendously, but cut his HP, and if there's only one Tien left, his health bar returns to regular size, but he still has to decrease the HP, so he's somewhat of an easy target. His super attack has to be the Kikoho, like I mentioned before, and it should hit like a truck. The area that it hits gets bigger on level up, and he can repeat it on reactivation while sacrificing part of his own health. I thought about adding an energy attack counter to resemble Tien canceling the Kamehameha, but maybe that could be worked into his passive or something. I think this way it would do Tien Shinhan justice, so now all we have left is the technical character, so let's get to it. I said earlier that I love super strong villains, and Janemba is one of those, and he has so many gimmicks that I think he's perfect for the technical role. I just have him be the Super Janemba form the entire time because the original Big Baby Janemba is a little too much, I think. He'd once again be a melee character because I guess I just really like those. I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe Janemba could have a sword at all times, kind of like Trunks, to make him stand out from the rest. Skill 1 would be the Hellgate Mouth Beam, which would just function like Goku's Kamehameha, very straightforward. For Skill 2, I'd give him his unique teleport, which makes him CC immune because we need that upon activation. And depending on how far away you are from the opponent, you can follow up with a Ki Blast or the Double Fist Head Smash, or whatever you want to call it, that he does to Pycon. Skill 3, he would open a portal to direct energy attacks from enemies back at themselves. His super attack would be the move that is apparently called Rakshasa's Claw, which would have Janemba blast energy up from his sword, which then just rains back down in an area for a bunch of damage. So there are all of the characters and a quick overview on how I designed them, but of course I gotta add what I would like to see as the summonable animations as well, because gacha is life, baby. For Bardock's intro, it's gotta be the bandana in hand soaking with blood and him then putting it on and powering up because, you know, that's just iconic, let's be real. As for a finisher attack, he could have part of his Spirit of Saiyan's ultimate attack from Budokai 3 where he charges the opponent and it overlaps with the image of the Ozaru and he drives them into the ground with his fist. Personally, I've always had a soft spot with how Tien Shinhan is shown in the Ultimate Battle 22 intro, so I would make that his intro. I am of course biased, but this is also my video, so... And I gotta go with the rapid punching combo he hit little kid Goku with in the 22nd World Tournament as his finisher attack. It's gotta be humbling to be beaten down like that, so it's perfect. With Janemba's intro, I gotta go with the Big Baby Janemba falling down and transforming into Super Janemba, similar to his DBFZ intro. And for his finisher attack, he could do an illusion smash to get something of the Big Baby Janemba in there, or that thing where he turns a rock into like this big skewer thing. I think both would work well. So there you have it. 3 new characters for each role in Gekishin Squadra that I'd like to see come to Season 3 of the game. Let me know which characters you want to see added to the roster in the comments, and if you stuck it out all the way to here in the video, all the way to the end, I would of course appreciate a like and a sub. With all that being said though, this is the end of the video, so stay classy everybody.